Welcome to another edition of the Lowdown on Up High. I am Jeffrey Thomas, and today we're going to be looking at a number of issues. Virgin Australia introducing pets on board, not a fan of that. Spirit Airlines having issues with looking at its iPad and not paying attention. We have Japan Airlines with some drunk pilot issues, and we have Qantas finally saying, yes, we're adding another toilet to our new A321 XLRs, which will bring some comfort to passengers. But before we go on, please subscribe to us, please like us, please do support us. We'd really appreciate your support for responsible journalism. And please do keep those wonderful comments coming, keep those wonderful questions coming, and links to all these stories will be in the description below so you can read more details. So let's start with Virgin Australia. They've launched flights now. You can book to take your pet on board. There's a few criteria. They've got to be under a certain weight, and they've got to fit into a specially designed pet pack and be put under the seat in front of you. But loads of people think it's a bad idea. Including me. Love pets, love animals, absolutely, but not in the cabin of aeroplanes. There's been too many problems in the US with it, with all sorts of toiletty issues for the animals, which in fact has resulted in planes being diverted and then grounded because of the smell. So yeah, there's quite a few issues there that I think are going to polarize passengers. Some are going to love it and a lot are going to hate it. It'll be interesting to see what Virgin Australia's maiden competitor Qantas does, whether they follow suit or whether they decide that it's probably better not to do it and guarantee pet-free flights. What Virgin might do is say, look, these flights are designated as pet flights. So people who don't like pets or are allergic to pets can avoid them. So that's a thought for Virgin to take on board. Japan Airlines, some of its senior executives have taken significant pay cuts for several months, up to 30%, due to another very embarrassing drunk pilot incident. This time it was in Honolulu, pilot checking in for a flight intoxicated, delayed the flight and subsequent flights by about 18 hours. But this is not the first time for Japan Airlines. They have had several incidents. Back in 2018, there was an incident in London. In 2024, December, there was an incident on a flight from Melbourne to Tokyo. So there has been a bit of a history of problems with pilots impacted by alcohol with Japan Airlines. And I think the airline needs to take a much stricter policy on this and maybe standing the pilot down for 12 months if they turn up to a flight intoxicated. They've got a rule that you're not allowed to drink 12 hours before, but pilots have not been obeying that rule. So yeah, and our website, 42,000 Feet, where we audit airlines, Japan Airlines have been downgraded from a 10-star for safety to 7-star because of the ongoing issues with alcohol and its pilots. Now, in the United States, a Spirit Airlines flight over Long Island, New York, was asked repeatedly by air traffic control to alter course to avoid a near miss with Air Force One carrying President Trump to the United Kingdom. And a very terse exchange ensued whereby the air traffic controller told Spirit Airlines, which was not responding, to get off the iPad and pay attention. So that particular incident, you can listen to the ATC in the link below. In fact, there's a link below to all the stories I'm giving you today on Lowdown on Up High, so you can read more details. And another one down under again, Qantas is introducing these really new whiz-bang A321 XLRs, and they've come in for a fair bit of flack because the first three, it now turns out, just the first three, only have two toilets for 180 economy class passengers. Now, in a ratio, there's actually three toilets on board, one in business class, two in economy. And from a ratio point of view, Qantas can say, yes, look, for our 200 passengers, 20 business class, 180 economy, the ratio is fine, except that the airline doesn't allow economy passengers to go into the business class section. So you've got two toilets for 180 people on a flight from Sydney to Perth. With headwinds, it's about 4.5 to 5 hours. That's going to cause long queues and disgruntled passengers. But Qantas now tells us that the fourth aeroplane, which is due in December, will have three toilets in economy. And the first three will be refitted with another toilet at the first major overhaul, which will, be a couple of years away. So it might be prudent for Qantas to use its three toilet A321s on long haul routes and keep the two toilet ones to the short haul, like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, that sort of golden triangle thing that we call it in Australia. The three heaviest travelled routes in Australia are between Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane on the east coast. So it's a tick for Qantas, but I'm still not happy about the seat pitch in economy, which is still the same at 30 inches, bearing in mind that the XLR, A320 XLR, is designed to fly up to 7 to 8 hours. So 7 to 8 hours with 30-inch seat pitch for a premium carrier is just not good enough. Now, they do say that later variants, or later deliveries, I should say, will have a better seat pitch, or they indicate they will. No details as yet, but I would strongly suggest they have a good hard look at it, because Australians are some of the world's tallest travellers. So come on, Qantas, you can do a lot better than a 30-inch seat pitch on a premium aeroplane that, let's face it, burns a whole lot less fuel, and because it carries more passengers, costs are coming down. I think you can do better, and you should do better. So let's see what happens.